to it. Jermaine O'Neal's clearly he's just washing his hands of the guy. He just
and that's what you got to do in that situation.
Yeah.
I mean, he's giving up on them. You got to return the favor and you know, help the management get rid of him.
And we talk about Rick Carlisle. You talk about one of the best coaches in the game.
Yeah, he's got
so that's a guy that won 50 games twice in Detroit. Yeah. And basically Larry Brown won a championship with his team. He goes to Indiana, plays with or without Artest, plays with all types of injuries, and that team is still considered an elite team.
He should have been coach of the year last year.
So because of that, when you're a player, sometimes you want to listen to a guy like Rick Carlisle. And last time I checked, Rick Carlisle did help him become Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah. And he did help him become all of these accolades that we give him as a player. So now he owes that to his coach and to his team.
So is he uncontrollable, though? I mean, it comes back to who do you have in place to kind of keep the guy in check? Is it possible to have Artest play focus for a whole 82-game season?
The biggest misconception in sports is that the other guys keep somebody in check. You're a grown man. The only person that keeps you in check is the person that gives you the opportunity. The person that gives you your opportunity keeps you in check. I cannot like how you practiced today. I cannot like how you played last night. But it's up to the coach, it's up to the management to whether they're going to still put you in the game and still give you that opportunity. What I say to you only goes so far.
Well, how did Jordan deal with Robin all those years? Because they were winning. You could say easy they were winning. That's one thing. But, I mean, I'm amazed that Jordan didn't, like, just say, trade this guy now.
Eventually he wore Jordan.
He was there a long time.
Yeah, he was effective.
It's called championships. If they weren't winning championships, Dennis Rodman wouldn't have been able to do that.
But isn't it also a respect factor? I mean, he respected Jordan and his accomplishments. And he comes into that realm, and Jordan kind of demands that.
These two, because he knows he leaves these two. These go too.
Artest doesn't have that where he's at.
But
does he need that?
Who's going to have Michael Jordan in the locker room?
I don't mean Michael Jordan per se, but somebody that's accomplished,
Michael Jordan is one person, one player. That's an isolated incident. If you look at any team around the league, you're going to see guys that are unhappy with their individual roles. We talk professional sports. These guys do this for a living. It's going to be guys unhappy with their role, unhappy with their opportunity, and it's not up to a guy sitting next to him in the locker room to police that.
Yeah, let's not try to change Ron Artest. Let's try to trade him. Is this guy? Can you get anything for this guy now that he said, "I'm going to quit on my team"?
Well, it's harder now that he comes out and, you know.
No, it's not. It's easier. It's easier now that he knows that
you're not going to get back what you want, though.
You're not going to maximize the deal once he's talked into the media.
Because the other GMs thought you by the you-know-what,
Did you think that people didn't know Ron Artest had a screw loose? Maybe they had a pretty good idea when he went in the stands last year.
Yeah. If you're a GM, you cannot give up your marquee player or one of your marquee players to get Ron Artest because you don't know what you're getting. It sounds good on paper. Oh, he's a Defensive Player of the Year. He's one of the top 10 players in the league. All of those are labels. You still got to go out there and play for 82 games with the other 14 guys. Yeah, and he hasn't shown that he can play with the other 14 guys.
There are a lot of exclamation points in his career, but there's also one giant question mark. Quote book's next. First, though, the Sunshine Girl with the Grill Room Sizzler.
Hi, I'm your Sunshine Girl, Jessica. Thanks for watching the show. Let's take a look back at one of our many sizzling moments in the Grill Room.
Fans are starting to see, okay, they're going to put their money where their mouth is. They're trying to build a team, and it seems like they want to win now. And I think, you know, if fans want to see something, it certainly gives them a good reason to go down to the ballpark.
Sherman, you going out and buying a flex pack, you get a free bobblehead with it.
Not at all. I mean, I was just thinking about it. I'll take that. I'll take anything for free. That doesn't matter.
There you go.
Not that. You've been chewing on that.
Your ticket to Super Bowl 40 could be in a Bud Light Sport Pack, but that's not all. You could win a pair of tickets on the Budweiser Super Bowl tailgate train. The best Super Bowl party next to being there. Just crack open a case and listen. Hear the whistle and you and a friend could be on the train with the Bud Girls and 500 other partygoers heading to Canada's ultimate Super Bowl party. Must be 19, no purchase necessary. Call 1-888-404-2583 for details. Only in specially marked Bud Light Sport Packs.
I smell gifts. Wait a minute. Is that Pegasus Barbie from Canadian Tire? Susie'll love it. A 14? No, that's a 18-volt Mastercraft cordless drill. A remote-controlled car. Oh, with an MP3 hookup. Just what Billy wanted. How do moms do it?
For gifts that get great reactions, the best place to start is Canadian Tire.
Well done, Mom. I'm speechless.
I'll start with you.
Closed captioning of this SunTV program is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers.
That is Speedy Claxton, one of the best names in the NBA. It's also the Slam Photo of the Day. For more photos, you can visit the Slam Sports Photo Gallery at slam.canoe.ca. Welcome back to the Grill Room. Time to open up the quote book. First one is from the only owner crazier than George Steinbrenner. Mark Cuban said, David Stern is a master politician. He's a master of divide and conquer. So, Jalen, typical Mark Cuban, I don't actually know what he's trying to say. I think he's trying to talk about the divide between players in the NBA and the owners in the NBA. Do you see that?
Well, there is somewhat a divide because Mark Cuban is a hands-on owner. He's the type of guy that's probably around his team just as much as the coaching staff is, and because of that, he has a relationship with his players. A lot of owners don't have a relationship with their players at all. They just come around for team events. So from that, he is different than most owners. Like you see in sports, you see it with a Jerry Jones, and you see it with a couple of other guys. So he is a hands-on owner, and I like that.
You like that? I can't stand it. Like you guys were there last year, and one of their players went down with an injury, and Mark Cuban came charging off the bench like he was a paramedic.
Yeah.
And as they're trying to get this guy back, Cuban is standing there like this, knowing that the whole world is watching him. I think like that's not the owner's thing. It should be the players and the coaches.
The worst thing you can do in this business is be called a jock sniffer, and this guy is a jock sniffer. He goes to the games and he sits there and he's sticking his head in the huddle. What are you doing?
Yeah. You want your owner sticking your head in the huddle?
A jock sniffer is not writing the checks. A jock sniffer wants an autograph.
A rich jock sniffer, though.
A true owner is actually sitting there watching how he acts in the huddle, how he's going to respond when it's a four-point lead in the game. He's hands-on.
If you're
I have no problem with that.
Want Larry if you're coaching a team in the future, you want Larry Tannenbaum standing there sticking his head in the scrum?
If he loves the players, if he supports what we're doing, and if he knows what he's talking about, yes.
Well, Jerry Sloan didn't have a problem with the owner in Utah doing that. He came down from the stands, gave his players an earful, and I think as an owner, you have a right to do that.
Absolutely.
You have a right to take it on.
There's something about Mark Cuban that just rubs me the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Mark Cuban makes it a little
Here's where
sideshow.
you want to talk about divide and conquer. This is a guy who got someone to monitor the calls of every official every night in the NBA so he could have flow charts about them. Get a frickin' life.
That is smart.
If it works.
That's the little things. Like, officials are just like players. They have scouting reports.
Tendencies.
Now, if this is a billion-dollar industry, why is he the first guy to try to figure out what the officials are going to call? Who's going to call a block or a charge? Who likes to call travel? Who likes to
keep the games? Yeah, but is he using that for the benefit of his team or just to...
Yeah, of course he is.
Well, I don't know. I just think he loves the publicity.
No, he's using it for
he loves writing those checks to pay the fines. Every time he gets fined, he loves letting everybody know, here's another $25,000.
Hey, they sell Mark Cuban T-shirts in the stadium. I want to get back to this divide with David Stern.
And speaking of divide and conquer, since he writes so many big checks, what does the NBA do with that money?
They gotta go somewhere,
charity,
right? But Darren, I want to get into that divide of is the NBA?
He laughs.
Is the NBA turning its back on the image and the attitude that got them so rich?
Definitely, they've taken the hip hop culture and marketed their game through that for so many years, and now, in a way that it served its purpose, they're scaling back. They're, the whole dress code thing and among other things. And it's kind of unfortunate in a way because it's going to come around again. They're going to use something else to market their game. And, why, if you create this monster and promote the game through this and your players start dressing or not dressing like whatever, why take it away? Why do that?
The NBA reminds me of the piano player in the cat house. They're all indignant about what's going on, but they're sitting there playing the tune, and they're doing well in the proceeds, Then they get all huffy about it.
All I know is most NBA players are way better dressed than the media, so I don't know what to think.
And the biggest misconception with the dress code and things that happen off the court is that players don't like to look nice. Players actually will abide by the rules. You see, there hasn't been a guy that's flagrantly been going against the dress code and things of that nature. But there are other things that happen that people don't know about. Like, for example, some guys at Michigan helped start long shorts. The Fab Five, some little guys, I don't know who knows who they are. But anyway, now in the NBA, if you notice that people are getting fined for the length that they're wearing their shorts. If you notice in the NBA now, they're trying to scale back on the hip hop music that's played in the loudspeakers. You hear more Beyonce, you hear more pop.
Yeah.
You don't really hear hip hop, and those are the little things that the fans don't see. And like you said, scaling back on the same hip hop promotion that you got fat off of.
So why are they turning their back on what made them so much money? Why
Because
stop?
corporate sponsor on the other end of the phone saying, okay, this guy's showing up with this urban wear, but he's not giving you the check that I'm giving you if I'm Reebok, if I'm one of these big corporate sponsors actually paying you. We want everybody to be in uniform and everybody to be in unison.
So Elmer, why aren't I putting up billboards that go to guys like Reebok, guys who want that audience? How come I'm talking to white corporate America?
Well, because white corporate America has the money. You know, and basketball is a game played primarily by African American players, and there is nothing so cool to a